All right. So, how is your new year unfolding so far? Yeah. So, for a lot of us, we step into the new year with kind of a mix of hope, of dreams, of curiosity, maybe some trepidation, given the events of the first 11 days of this year. A little trepidation, maybe. And maybe a little leftover exhaustion from the holidays, all the holiday parties, all the family gatherings. We put up decorations. We took down decorations. Most of us. I still see some up. Hey, you're one of them, right? And some people set really ambitious New Year's resolutions at about 11:59 on December 31st. So here we are, ready for our new life to take off. Yes. Yes. And yet we know that a new life, a renewed life, doesn't begin with a resolution. It begins with a vision, right? It begins with a vision. So that's what we're talking about today. And here at UCP, we began our year with a white stone service, where we were guided by our inner wisdom to hear a word that we are to write on our white stone that would guide us as we step forward into the new year with intention. And that white stone can be a trigger. It can be a key that unlocks a larger vision that can continue to unfold through our lives. So we're going to continue to listen to that. So we have begun the year taking the first step to living intentionally, as opposed to living by default. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts that unity and really the New Thought movement in general has given us, is the awareness that we're powerful co-creators, that we have the power to create our lives intentionally, as opposed to living by default, which means we refuse to be victim of circumstance. We refuse to be victims of life. We refuse to let outward conditions and circumstances dictate our experience. And we can even refuse to allow our own inner patterns and old ideas and old traumas and old habits to sabotage our peace and our physical well-being and our relationships or our success. When we commit to living our lives intentionally, we choose how to respond to life. We choose what to nurture. And as I was talking about last week, undoubtedly, situations will come up in our lives that are challenging, sometimes downright painful, right? We all do. And yet, it's how we respond to life, how we respond to those challenges that determines our experience of it. So we are always at choice. And when we anchor ourselves in intention, anchor ourselves in the intention to live a purposeful life, then we are centered in the divine within us. We are open to possibility, and we are guided. And those situations those circumstances can help us develop skills that will help us realize that vision, that will help us realize that vision. Now, of course, this takes effort, right? It takes focused attention. It takes a commitment. And honestly, it's why unity and probably centers for spiritual living will never be mainstream. Because it turns out not everybody is eager to take responsibility for their experience. Imagine. It's much easier to say, oh, woe is me. Oh, well, look what they're doing to me. You can't believe what they're doing to me. God, save me. You know, it definitely takes much more work to own our experience and to do the practices that help shift our consciousness, thereby shifting our experience. We shift our consciousness, and it shifts our experience. But ultimately, you know, if we want to live a life of joy, a life of peace, freedom, true freedom, that's really the only way. Now, of course, we want to develop and express compassion for others and for ourselves. I mean, really, because this being human thing, boy, sometimes it's painful. You know, hearts are broken. We lose people we love. We suffer physically, emotionally. But something that Rumi once said can really be key for us. You know what I'm going to say. He said, the wound is the place where light enters you. The wound is the place where light enters you. And, you know, much time afterwards, Leonard Cohen also took that idea and put it in a lyric in one of his songs where he said something like, the cracks are where the light gets in. So the idea is that the suffering can be a pivot point that can open us to a deeper understanding and experience of our divine light, of the divine light that we are. We can use it as an experience of healing and awakening. And honestly, this is where spiritual community comes in handy, right? Because this is not an easy path to walk. And being surrounded by loving, supportive people who are doing a similar thing, who are walking this path, is really helpful. It's really helpful. Also, what can really help us navigate our way in difficult times, keep us on track, keep us focused, guide us, and inspire us, is to have a clear, compelling vision. A clear, compelling, spirit-inspired vision opens up possibilities. It helps us connect with the divine presence. And it guides us into this vibration, into a frequency. We get into a frequency of the answer. So we are moving into a frequency of joy, of gratitude, of love. These are all vibrations that align us with the realization of that vision. A clear, focused vision. And the importance of having a compelling vision is not anything new. It's not just new thought. It's been around forever. Right? Proverbs tells us, without vision, the people perish. Kind of harsh. Another way to say that, though, is where there is no inner clarity, we get distracted. Or where there is no compelling vision, we live reactively rather than intentionally. And so the compelling vision keeps us centered in our sense of purpose. And I think no better example of this of someone who led this kind of life than Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who we are celebrating next week. He had such a clear, compelling vision, dream, and was able to communicate it so well that millions of other people got it and they saw it and they were willing to commit everything to do whatever is necessary to help realize that. That vision of a country where we're living the principles of true equality for everyone, and to realize that with nonviolent action. So no matter what was thrown at him and them, the whole movement, and it was a lot. I don't think we can really know the trials and tribulations that they went through, as we sit in our comfortable lives. Most of us are white privilege, right? We have a tough time, I think, knowing fully. But regardless of what they had to endure, anchored in that vision, they move forward, divinely guided, courageously empowered. It's a model for us. Also, vision precedes manifestation. Vision precedes manifestation. That's been my experience. Has it been yours? Yeah. You have to see it first. You have to see. You have to bring yourself kind of into that feeling tone of, yes, of living that vision. Not just seeing, but actually feeling it in your body, of living that vision. And it begins to manifest. And this is true both individually for ourselves and collectively as the civil rights movement. That vision comes first, always. Gary Zukav once said, "The quality of our intention determines the quality of our experience." The quality of our intention determines the quality of our experience. So let's look at the qualities. Let's look at the characteristics of a compelling and spirit-inspired vision. If we can have the first slide up there, we'll kind of go through these. So it feels expansive rather than constricting, because you're expanding beyond your self-imposed limits. Okay? Number two, it energizes you rather than exhausts you. So as you're moving forward in alignment with the vision, you should feel enthusiastic, a passion. There's a passion here, and that enlivens all of your activity. Number three, a spirit-inspired vision aligns you with love and integrity and truth. That's pretty self-explanatory, I think. Four, it may not always feel comfortable. In fact, it may scare the bejesus out of you. But it feels right. And it feels uncomfortable because, again, you're moving past your comfort zone. You're moving out of your self-imposed boundaries. So that's not always comfortable. But it should have a sense of, yes, this feels right. Scaring me, but it feels right. Okay. 5, a spirit-inspired vision exercises all of your unique gifts and talents. All of that the talents and gifts that you have internally that you came to this earth to express get activated. That's kind of the best part of this. You become activated and you're living more fully. Number 6, it doesn't always arrive fully formed. And that's a good thing. Sometimes, we just get a piece of it. But it's enough, and it feels right, and if we're connected with that Spirit-inspired vision, then we're able to move forward. We're able to start taking action. It should feel like, Spirit is inviting us in, a step at a time, a day at a time. And we feel into this more expansive, more authentic way of living. Okay. 7, a compelling vision often carries a sense of meaning rather than achievement. So it's not about achieving a goal. This is the difference of a vision, right? Spirit-led vision opens up a life of meaning. A life of meaning. And the last one is, most importantly, a true Spirit-led vision serves not only you, but life itself. It benefits humanity in some way. A true Spirit-inspired vision benefits others, benefits humanity in some way. That's how you know. These are the steps of how you know this is a true, compelling, Spirit-inspired vision. So Reverend Michael Beckwith shares in his book, Life Visioning, and he basically developed this whole life visioning process, and I was fortunate enough to be able to study with him. And he says, this is kind of long, I'll take a deep breath. When visioning, your life exposes itself to you. In other words, if you're willing to remain objective, you will be able to discern without judgment what is required to evolve into the fullest expression of yourself. This is what I was talking about a minute ago. You will stop struggling against yourself. Rather, you will draw comfort through the openness and receptivity of your own heart's longing to fully live your unique romance with life. Visioning is a fine-tuning of the inner ear to the heart, to the need of the heart and soul. A fine-tuning of the inner ear to the need of your heart and soul. Is that beautiful? Beautiful way to say this. Yeah. Okay. That Spirit-inspired vision can definitely open your true purpose. This idea of living your purpose. And, our purpose is not something that, we have to discover like some sort of inner treasure, It is here. It is already here. It's coded in our soul's DNA as a unique expression of that universal, infinite, divine love intelligence. We are expressing each one of us in a beautiful, unique way, with a unique purpose and a unique reason that we came here to this earth at this time. And it is no accident that we are here in this place at this time. It's no accident. And in fact, together, we have the ability to make positive change in the world. That ability is magnified. Together, the ability is magnified. It's magnified. So we are powerful, brilliant lights. We are brilliant, powerful lights. That is, when we're connected to our power source. We need to be connected with that power source, right? A lot of people are walking around not only not plugged into the power source, but not even knowing that there is a source that's larger than themselves and that they are a radiant beam of it. And honestly, people who don't know completely who they truly are, who and what they are, can become an obstacle that blocks the light. So, when we say yes, when we know who and what we truly are, and we say yes to our vision, then we become that energy, that vibrant energy that radiates light into the whole field. And when we do this together, it lights up the world. We light up the world. So this is our charge, right? To get clear about our vision, to really have a clear, focused, compelling vision, to say yes to it, to say yes to our purpose, to be the light that we are, that we came here to be. All right, so this Saturday I'll be offering this vision board workshop that begins with a visioning process that's this deep agape style visioning, where you get clear about your vision, get really clear about it, and you can see it, and then we create an intention mandala with images that help to speak to that vision and keep it in front of our face so that we continue to stay focused on it. So that's this Saturday. You may want to register soon. All right, so let's say an affirmation together. I didn't have an affirmation. Okay. Well, I'll say it and you can repeat it after me. Let's do that. I am an intentional being. I am an intentional being. I embrace my highest vision. I embrace my highest vision and have the courage to live that vision. And have the courage to live that vision. Yes. So it is. Namaste.
Hi. If this video has inspired you, opened your heart, expanded your consciousness, filled you with hope, empowered you in some way, we encourage you to support what we offer here at Unity Center of Peace by making your donation now. And thank you.